Welcome back to the Immigration Answer Show. My name is Jim Hacking. I'm an immigration lawyer practicing law throughout the United States, out of our offices in St. Louis, San Diego, and Washington, D.C. This is episode number 387 of the Immigration Answer Show. Today is June 14th, 2023. Hope you all are doing well. Hope all is well in your world. We are rocking and rolling here at Old Hacking Immigration Law. Lots going on, lots of approvals, lots of lawsuit dismissals. And when we dismiss a lawsuit, usually that means that our clients got their immigration benefit. We're rocking and rolling. We're so happy to be here with you for the full hour. I will be here answering as many immigration law related questions as I can. So let's get them coming. You can join me in the waiting room if you want, and I will pull you up to ask your question. Let us know in the comments where you're watching from. We love to hear from old friends, new friends. If you haven't been here before, maybe introduce yourself, say a little bit about why you're here. Jai is watching all the way from India. That's pretty amazing. I had an interesting experience today. We were interviewing a lawyer for a new position. It's a position for intake. So our intake team has right now 2 lawyers and a part-time lawyer, a lawyer who works part of her day in intake. And we're getting ready to hire another intake attorney. And we interviewed 4 candidates, and 2 told me that as lawyers, they've watched this show and they really appreciated the way that I share with clients or share with people about what their immigration issues are, and that I'm very forthright and upfront. I'm always going to tell you what I think. I don't hold back. If I think you got a shit case, I'm going to tell you got a shit case. If I think you got a good case, I'm going to tell you I think you got a good case. And I've always taken the approach that, I'm not everybody's cup of tea. Not everyone's going to want to hire us, but that's okay, because we have a common opponent, and that is the federal government. And so anything I can do, big or small, to help you guys through the immigration process, I'm down for that. And if a small subset of the people that watch this show end up hiring us, it's a win-win. You guys all get lots of good information. We get some clients out of the deal. And at the end of the day, we're helping people get their green cards, helping loved ones get together through the visa process, and we're getting towards our goal of helping 10,000 people become U.S. citizens. So hopefully we'll have another intake attorney here on our team soon. We are growing. We're hiring another attorney or 2 for the St. Louis office. So things are good. Things are good. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start with Mariana. Mariana, are you with us?
Yes. Hi, Jim. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Great. Thank you. First of all, I want to thank you for all the advice that you give, because helped me too much for get my green card. I came here with what is the name? Fiance visa.
Yep.
But I have been here before with tourist visa. So what happened is I get everything perfect. My green card, my fiance visa was approved. My green card was approved really fast. And I get my green card in December of last year. And since I get my green card, I have been travel always to Colombia. That's my country.
Mm-hmm.
And every time that I come back, they put me in the secondary room. And even with my fiance visa too, of course, and with my tourist visa. But I'm worried because from December to now, we have been traveled 3 times, 2 times to Colombia and another time to Europe. The times that I traveled to Colombia, I have been staying. One was like a 17 days, the another one's like a 15 days. We are planning to travel again to Colombia. I always go with my husband, but I come back alone because he has to come back faster than me, and I can stay longer. I just housewife. I'm not working yet and now in this moment, so I can spend a little bit more time in Colombia. My question is, if it's some problem that I travel and stay maybe 15 days in my country or in another country with a green card, because they always take me to the secondary room.
They'll probably keep taking you to a secondary room until you get your citizenship. They probably think you're bringing stuff back from Colombia that you're not supposed to be bringing back. When they see lots of little visits, sometimes they get suspicious. They think someone's just using their green card to come and go. Being outside the United States for 2 weeks is not a big deal. Being outside the United States 2 weeks out of every month is not a big deal. But sometimes they profile people. You might have the name that's similar to somebody else that's gotten in trouble before. You never know what it is, but you have the legal right to do what you're doing. And as long as you're not doing anything wrong, which I'm sure you're not, they can sort of pound sand, but it's probably not going to get cleaned up until you get your citizenship. So remember too, that when you apply for citizenship, you're going to need, of the 3 years, you're going to have to be here more than half the time. So you want to make sure that you're not spending too much time in Colombia. And obviously you can't have any trips more than 6 months.
Oh, okay. So
I don't think there's anything to worry about. I think you just have to sort of plan on these extra delays. They just pick some people sometimes, and it's sort of hard to get out from under that extra scrutiny.
But yes, they always pick me. I don't know, and sometimes even they don't ask me anything. Just give me in the secondary room. They just stay longer there and don't ask me anything. Just give them my passport. So I don't know. I was worried about it for that, because we know that, because you told many times that we have to stay. I cannot travel too much or stay longer outside. So that's all worries, really.
I mean, I think traveling down with 2 and back with 1, that's probably also something that piques their interest. So they're probably just wondering what in the heck's going on, and lots of trips back and forth. They're just getting a little suspicious. I'm not saying it's fair. I'm just saying that's what's going on.
Okay. That's one of my question. Thank you
Thanks,
very
Mariana.
much.
Have a great day.
Okay.
Congrats on the
You
green
too.
card. See ya. Yep.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye. Sam's here. Hello, Sam.
Yes, hello, James. It's nice to talking to you. Thank you for all your help.
Of course. What can I help you with?
So what's happening here? We came like 22 years ago, and we have an asylum case still pending with the BIA right now, and my status is removal proceeding. However, my son is turned 21. He submitted one I-30 for me last month. So the office processing this I-130 is a Texas office, and he said the processing time is around 8 months. So I know that for sure 100% my case with the BIA, the asylum one, will be denied. And they received my brief for the asylum application on August last year, so around 10 months right now. So I'm expecting they're going to deny it very soon. Any coming weeks or months. So my question is, I submit a motion either with the BIA or the USCIS, where either way, so the USCIS they handling my 130 and the BIA with the pending asylum. Can I submit a motion to cancel the removal order or no?
Well, you don't have a pending asylum case. Your asylum case is over. You've been ordered deported, right?
Yeah, I'm in removal order and it's still pending with the BIA.
But you don't have a pending asylum case. You've been ordered deported. Your asylum case is over as of right now. If they reverse it, that's different. But right now, you're not pending asylum. You have been ordered deported.
Okay, what is the pending with the BIA? How we
It
call
just
it?
means your case is on appeal. But they could. I mean, I'm not trying to scare you, but they could come and try to execute on that order any day, like you said, either now or after the board upholds it. So yeah, I think you need to formally put them on notice of the pending I-130. I assume you entered with inspection and just overstayed. You have a visa? Yeah.
Yes.
And was the only reason you were ordered deported the overstay, or was there anything else?
No, because of the asylum is denied.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, okay. So what's the issue on appeal? Why you have, when you make an appeal, you can't just file an appeal to drag it out. You have to have an argument. What's the argument that the asylum case was wrong?
No, actually, I just did it. I know that for sure it's gonna be denied.
No, stop. Okay, hold on. I want you to stop saying that. I want you to stop saying that. You can't tell people that you filed an asylum case that you know is going to be denied. That is improper use of the courts. So you got to stop saying that.
Okay.
You can say, I think I'm probably going to lose. You can say that, but you can't say I know, because that suggests that it's a bullshit asylum appeal, and you don't want to do that.
You're sure? Yeah, but that's what some other lawyers told me that.
Yeah, it's probably going to be denied, but just, I mean, the language is important. Do you understand?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So long and the short of it is, I think you need to be letting everybody you know as early as possible. I don't know that it's going to do anything, but I would reach out to the government attorney for the BIA and say, hey, we've got this I-130 pending. My son just filed it for. I mean, you have a lawyer, right?
Yeah, actually, I have no problem also with the lawyer. He is the one who messed up my case first place. And actually, what happened like 2 years ago, I sent them a letter that we no longer need his service. For unfortunately, his name is in my case in San Francisco court.
So
So I
wait,
sent him.
hold on. Why did the lawyer screw up your case?
He's just messed up with his argument with the judge. He didn't
What was it?
say any.
What argument did he mess up?
He just make like a very weak argument. That's it. I mean, please, like begging the judge without explaining and what the situation like it's supposed to be. So when I listen to what he said, it's just the judge denies the case.
Yeah, but we don't know.
anyhow,
We don't know. We don't know that's why he didn't. I mean, did you file for asylum within a year of arrival?
Yes.
You filed for you filed for asylum within 1 year. You said you entered 23 years ago.
Yeah, in 2001.
So you filed an asylum case in 2002, and it's still on appeal.
Yes, actually, it is denied, and we reopen it again, granted, and it is just denied again. That is the reason I said there is one of the lawyer long time ago. He said once it is denied, it's gonna go all the way denied. That's the reason I said that.
I gotcha. Okay, so what's the question for me?
So the question is, I know that's now I'm considering myself waiting for I-130. That is the one I weigh on it. So is it possible I can just do like first thing I do like a motion to cancel the removal order depend on the 130 is pending or no?
Well, you're not going to file anything on your own. You have to have a lawyer. You can't do this on your own. It's hard enough. It's hard enough. I mean, asking the government attorney for the BIA case to pay any attention to your case, it's almost impossible for a lawyer. So to think that a regular person could do it, forget it. They're not. They've got 80 cases sitting on their desk that are due this week. Like they're not even going to be thinking about you.
Oh, okay.
The only reason I would do it is to start laying the groundwork for later. Like if ICE comes looking for you, if the BIA gets denied, you want to not only say, look, I filed a motion with the BIA to remand. What you want to do is you want to ask them to remand it back to the district court or to the EOIR to revisit it in light of the I-130. That's pushing it pretty far. It's pretty early, just 1 month after the I-130 was filed, to be asking them. Usually they would wait until the I-130 is approved. So they might not listen to you. But I think there's an argument to be made to do it now, just so that everybody's on notice that you have this relief coming down the line. This is the big difference between Trump and Biden. Under Trump, it was, hey, Sam's got this I-130 pending. Let's get him the fuck out of here. Let's just deport him as fast as we can. And Biden's trying to go to the other end of the extreme, which is, hey, Sam's got this I-130. His kid's a U.S. citizen. Let's see if we can help Sam stay. But doing it at this late date, even for Biden's people, it's pretty far down the line. I'm not saying you're going to get deported. I don't think you will. But to get anybody to pay attention to it now, I don't think that's going to happen either. I think you just got to start laying the paperwork for later, for once the I-1, like you want to sort of protect yourself, file as much as you can to get somebody to pay attention so that maybe your I-130 goes a little faster, or maybe the judge, maybe they send the case back to the immigration judge and the judge sits on it for a while. Anything's possible.
So when you think they're going to send it back, do you mean the BIA by themselves?
Well, you're going to have to ask them to.
It is better to ask them so they can send it back to the immigration court.
Yeah, but they probably won't.
Okay.
But it's you should still ask. You want to start leaving a paper trail. You want to let everybody and his brother know, hey, everybody, I'm the dad of a U.S. citizen, and I have a path to relief. Please don't deport me while I'm this close.
Okay, and what is the best way to get rid of the old lawyer? Because I sent them an email.
Best way to get rid of the old lawyer, and I say this because I don't want this case. We're not doing deportation stuff, so this isn't me. The best way to get rid of the old lawyer is to hire a new lawyer and have them enter their appearance and then do what they can for you. You need to hire a deportation lawyer. That you need to hire the best deportation lawyer in the city in which you live and get them to help sort of along the lines of what we're talking about.
You said you are not doing that, right?
That's right.
Okay, so what's the deportation? This is only way to hire a lawyer right now, or there is any official
No,
way
dude,
to.
you've waited way too long. As soon as you should never have filed a motion to get rid of the old lawyer without a new lawyer lined up. You're you're
Oh,
you're 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 one knock on the door away from getting deported.
okay.
You're barely here, brother. Even though it's been
Okay.
23 years, you're barely here. You have no you have less status than people who just got here and overstayed. You have a deportation order. That's about as serious as it gets. The last stop on that is actually getting deported.
Okay. So, but the complaint to the bar is not gonna let him get out.
Why are you going to file a complaint on the bar? My lawyer didn't argue enough. I mean, this is what the
No.
lawyer's going to say. The lawyer's going to say, this was a shit asylum case anyway. It was a loser. It's not my fault. This guy's asylum case is made up or it's BS. That's what the
You're
lawyer's
right,
going to do.
but he's against my will. I don't need him anymore. I want to get someone else.
Then hire somebody else. All you got this is what happens when a lawyer wants to substitute another lawyer. Hey, lawyer A, this is lawyer B. I'm going to enter on behalf of Sam. Will you sign this piece of paper that says you're out and I'm in? That's it. That's all it takes. So you've made it into this huge big thing for no reason. All you got to do is spend some money on a new lawyer, and this little problem that you're talking about goes away.
Okay.
It's certainly not anything to file a bar complaint about.
Okay. So there's
Do you owe that? Do you owe lawyer A money?
No.
Okay.
So the
All right,
final
well, go
thing
find a
is,
lawyer. Where do you live?
I live in California, San Francisco.
Well, dude, there's plenty. I mean, first of all, you're in the best immigration court you could be in San Francisco, and there are great immigration lawyers in San Francisco. So go find one and get going.
Okay. Thank you so much, Jim. I appreciate it.
Bye, Sam. See you, buddy.
Bye.
Next up, Diana.
Hi.
Hello, Diana.
Hi, Jim. How are you?
I'm great. How you doing?
Thank you so much for your program. Jim, this is, I'm calling for my spouse, my husband.
Mhm.
He had a green card approximately almost for 20 years ago. And lately he has applied for citizenship in January 27, 2023. And he went for an interview.
Already?
On that interview, they have asked him to submit more paperwork to support 2 times being staying out of United States for more than 6 months.
When did that happen? When were those trips, Diana?
Okay. Those trips were in 2018 and 2019.
And
Yes.
he's married to you. This is your
Yes.
husband, right? And he's
Yes.
a U.S. Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
Okay. So what's the date of the filing?
For citizenship, it was
Yeah.
January 27, 23.
And when did he come back for that 2019 trip? When did he come back?
The last entry was on September 22, 2020.
9/22/2020. And
Yeah.
oh, I thought you said he left in 2019. He did. He left in 2019 and came back in September of 20.
In 2000. Yeah, the last entry to US is September 22, 2020.
Yeah, but when did he leave the United States on that trip? How long was he gone?
Oh, he's here. He has been here.
No, that's not what I mean. When he
Prior
came
to
back,
that-
he came back in 2020. What was his prior exit?
Oh, okay. I believe it was in 2019. I have to bring some paperwork to give you
But it's okay. It was more than 6 months, right?
Yes, it was more than 6 months. It was less than 1 year, but more than 6 months. It was a long time.
Okay.
But on February 24, 23, we have submitted all the supportive documentation because there were 2 cases involved in the reason that he had stayed more than 6 months in Iran was because, first of all, my son had a small land, and because he was very he was young. He was about 13 and a half years old when he traveled to United States with me. So he couldn't go back to Iran to take care of the land problem because the government was taking over the land. They were taking the land away from us.
Okay.
So husband had to stay and fight and go back to court and all these things, these problems. And that took a long time, a little bit. And
Well, so the 2 trips, how long were they?
yeah, they were about 1 day less than a year.
Oh, geez. Okay.
Yeah, geez, yeah, it
Okay.
is. So
Okay.
the
So
time,
the second time, yeah.
the second time happened in 2019 because of that case. He was very frustrated and he got troubled with his heart, and he was under control of a doctor, cardiologist doctor, because of his heart condition.
Yeah.
And he's 80, almost 80 years old, so he couldn't tolerate all that stress and frustration. Uh, and yeah, he wasn't allowed to fly for 6 months because we have submitted all that paperwork, all the courts that he has gone, the land that they have taken over, and the doctor prescription, doctor
Can I
controlling.
can I talk for a
I
little bit?
don't, yes, go ahead.
So I feel for your husband, but USCIS doesn't. So they're not going to give him his citizenship. I think this is. If you had come to me before filing, I would have said you had to wait to file. So I think that the idea that they're. I mean, first of all, I say this as someone who became Muslim a long time ago, whose wife is from Egypt. Most of my clients are from the Middle East, South Asia. So, the hardest thing to do is to get an immigration benefit for a man from a predominantly Muslim country. And of all the countries, the hardest immigration benefit place is Iran. So they discriminate against men from Iran. I mean, when it comes to citizenship, top of the list. So they are not going to bend over backwards to forgive these long overstays. So if you'd asked me before filing, I'd say no, don't. You have to wait 4 years and 1 day from the end of the last long trip. So the last long trip ended on September 22nd, 2020. So if you had asked me, I would have told you to file on September 23rd, 2024. You've already spent the money. You've already done the work. Let's see what happens. I would love nothing better than for you to call me up and say we won and he became a citizen. But I think the chances of that are probably about 10, 15%.
Okay, I have another question in this case.
Yeah.
All right. If this is the case that he's gonna lose and he's not gonna win the case, when should we? What is our right to do? When should we reapply for citizenship again? Considering that the whole entire family has been here living in the United States for
They don't care about any of that. They don't care about any of that.
Okay.
Their response was he should have gotten his citizenship a long time ago. If he had his green card 20 years ago, he should have gotten his citizenship a long time ago. They don't care about that. So
Yes,
there's a difference between rights and what's going to happen. So I think what you're asking me is, Jim, should we withdraw this case so that we don't get a denial, or should we let it ride and see what happens? And I'm sort of on the fence. Because generally I don't like my clients to have a denial when they apply later, right? Like, do I think that having a denial now is going to make it harder later? Yeah, I think probably a little bit. The counter argument to that is you've already spent a lot of money, you've done a lot of work, you've gone through the effort of trying to do it. I think that this is a decision for your husband to make, but I think it's a close call. I think that there's arguments on both sides. I think if it were me, I'd probably withdraw it because I don't think it's a winner. I think it's a loser. I think that even with good documentation, I mean, I know for a fact they don't give a shit about COVID. I know they don't care about, and I'm not saying you had a COVID case, but when it comes to health reasons for why mom or dad stayed overseas, they don't care. So, and they're primed to deny it. Which field office was this that he had his interview at?
This is in California, Chatsworth office.
I've been to that Chatsworth office. It's not a bad place. I think they'll give him a
Your voice is cutting
fair
up.
shot, but remember,
I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
I think the other thing we have to remember is it's not one trip, it's 2 trips, right?
Yes.
So I think at the end of the day, I would dismiss it, but it's your guys' call. I can't make that decision for you. I think if it were me, I would dismiss. I would withdraw. I'd send them a letter with the receipt notice or the interview notice and say, I wish to withdraw my N-400. I ask that you take no further action on this case.
Okay, and then when we should reapply again?
Yeah, so I would say October 1st, just to be clear. I'm sorry. Yeah, October 1st, 2024.
Oh, we have to wait until 2024, October 1st, and then
the rule. There's a rule, and the rule is, if there's a break in residency due to absence, a person may reapply after 4 years and 1 day.
Yes.
But only, yeah, by waiting 1 day more than 4 years. Yeah, and they were both less than a year, right? Neither trip was more than a year.
No, it's not more than a year. No.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So October 1st, that's like 10 days after 4 years. The rule is 4 years and 1 day after you return from the last long trip. So for him, that would be September 23rd, my son's birthday, 2024. But we want to wait an extra week just to not cut it too close. So October 1st, 2024. So next year, October.
Last return from Iran, is that the long return?
I'm sorry.
What was that? 4 years and one day after the long return?
The last long trip. Yes, ma'am.
Last long trip. After last long trip.
And you said that was September 22nd, 2020 is when he came back.
Yes. Okay. During these 4 years and 1 day, is he able to go back to do his things and come back, or he has to stay that whole consequent 4 years?
So no, he doesn't have to stay the 4 years, but we need to remember the other rule, because there's another rule that could mess him up. And that is that they're going to look back if he applies under the 3-year rule because he's married to a U.S. citizen, they're going to look back at those 3 years and they're going to say, in the last 3 years, so from October 1st, 2021 to October 1st, 2024, did he spend at least half the time in the United States? So, and he has to have, there's a bunch of rules. The 90 days before he applies, he needs to be here. So if I'm in charge, I would lock him up and not let him leave the house until 2024. If I got to pick, I don't want to keep raising this issue of his travel, right? And I mean, I've had people go to Iran and when they come back, the FBI is waiting for them. So this is something they're paying attention to. So if I were in charge of everything, I'd say, stay here for a year and get your citizenship. Then you can go over to Iran for a long, long time. You go as long as you want.
So, in other words, no trips to Iran whatsoever. Even
to anywhere, not Mexico, not Canada, nowhere.
Okay.
That's my vote.
Okay.
He probably won't like that.
All right. All right. Okay, Jim, thank you so very much. I appreciate. And if we want to have a lawyer, what we should do?
Yeah, I think next year when the time comes, just email us. Email us next year, like around this time next year, and we can get started on it.
Okay. And can I ask that approximately? I don't have, first of all, your email.
It's right here. It's right here on screen. It's info at
screen. Oh, okay.
Info at hackingimmigrationlaw.com. And like by the time we get to that, it'll probably be about $5,000. It's a little less than $5,000, but we're raising our rates a little bit each quarter.
Okay. Thank you, Jim. Have a nice, wonderful.
Thanks, Diana. Nice talking to you. Thanks for the call.
Yeah, good energy.
All right. She seemed nice, didn't she? I don't know. I don't know what's going on with this crazy squirrels. All right. Hopefully they won't drive us crazy the whole time. Shauna's up next. What do you say, Shauna?
Hi, Jim. How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I have been trying for the longest to come on the show.
Well, here we are together at last.
Here, back and forth from 3 o'clock. Okay, so let me give you the backstory. I'm not yet married, but I just want to find the information before I do so. So my partner and we've been seeing each other from 2018. I was in Jamaica. While I was seeing him, he was still married. His wife tried to get him arrested. Well, she did get him arrested, but the judge, she threw the case out because they saw that she was lying. After that happened, he moved out because he became afraid of her and what she possibly might do.
Sure.
So he is going to do a citizenship test next month, and he filed for a divorce in January. But I've been hearing a lot of conflicting stories about him remarrying and filing for somebody else. And I listened to your show the other day where another Jamaican, because I'm Jamaican, came on your show, and I think you were kind of like skeptic that both of them were from the same nationality. So I was just wondering, like, is it going to be a problem that he was married before?
That's funny. It's funny that you said it that way. I'm going to write this down, because sometimes I am suspicious when they're from the same background. Sometimes I'm suspicious when they're not. And of course, that all comes from USCIS, where they're going to take whatever the circumstances and say, oh, because you're from the same country, I'm suspicious. But let's back up a little bit. Was he born in the United States?
No.
Did he get his green card based on marriage to this lady?
Yeah.
So that's a different thing. That's a pivot case. So in other words, he came to the United States. Did he have a visit visa?
Yes.
So he comes on a visit visa. He marries this lady. We'll call her Mary. He marries Mary. He gets his green card.
He didn't marry her right away. He came back, and then he came back again and overstayed, and then they got married.
Yeah. So when if he were to try to sponsor you, that's something that that's something that makes them go back and look at his immigration history. So
Okay.
are you in Jamaica or are you in the United States?
Oh, I'm in the United States. I actually came here in 2021. I came here to work. But when I came here to work, honestly, Jim, I was fired. I wasn't given an explanation. I wasn't given a letter as to why I was fired.
What kind of a visa did you have to come work?
H-2B.
H-2B. Okay. All right. So here's what I have. So what I have now is let's play it out. So let's say he gets his citizenship. Now, if he gets his citizenship, that helps your case get stronger. Now, how long has he been married? Did he play on the 5-year rule or the 3-year rule?
5.
Okay, good. Okay, so if he gets his citizenship, and that case is on file or it's about to be filed?
We're not even married as yet.
No, not your case. His citizenship case. Is that case on file?
Yeah, he's doing the test next month.
Test next month. Okay.
Yeah.
So and when at the time that he filed for naturalization, was he divorced or was he? I'm sorry. Had she filed for divorce, or did that happen after he filed the N-400?
I think he filed the citizenship test first. He wasn't the one that actually filed for the divorce. I'm sorry. It was the wife that filed.
Yeah, I know. But which happened first? Did he file for the N-400 or did she file for divorce? Which happened first?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Well, either way, it needs to come up at the interview. He can't go into that interview because one of the questions they ask you when you are going when you're getting naturalized, and specifically they ask this because it has to say on your naturalization certificate your marital status. So if he goes to that interview and they ask him, what's your marital status? He needs to say, I'm married, but my wife filed for divorce. And I would even bring a copy of the divorce complaint to them. So, because what we don't want more than anything is we don't want them to say that he hid his divorce when he naturalized, because if he applied on the 5-year rule and he applied on time, then the fact that he's getting divorced shouldn't matter. Now, I think it will a little bit. I think it'll slow down his citizenship case because they always like to look back and say, what was this dude's status at the time he married this lady that he's now trying to get citizenship from? And he was out of status. So that's a little bit of a problem for him, but it's even a bigger problem for you, because let's say he gets his citizenship. Let's say he listens to Uncle Jim and he makes sure that he tells that officer and importantly brings a copy of the divorce, because he could tell that officer that, and if they say, well, he never told it, they could say he never told him that. So if he brings a copy of the divorce filing and leaves it in his file, then there's proof that he told them, and that's really important for your case. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I understand.
But still, let's play it out. So let's say he gets his citizenship. He listens to old Jim. He tells him about the divorce, and let's say I don't think they're going to be in any hurry to give him his citizenship. I think they're going to slow down, right? I think they're going to sit on the case. They might wait for the divorce to become final, and most importantly, they might come knocking on the door of the U.S. citizen wife who gave him his green card to see what she has to say.
So even though he has the interview aligned for next month, they will slow it down?
They will.
Wow. So after he does the interview, you mean that they will wait a while to like...
They'll sit on the case to see what happens with the divorce. I don't know for sure. They might just approve it. But I mean, you know, if you watch this show, you know that I'm always talking about men from Nigeria, men from Ghana, and we need to add men from Jamaica to the list. And more importantly, not so much the country of origin. The problem for him was he was out of status when he married her, and marrying her got him in status. And so then, lo and behold, here comes you. After, if he gets his citizenship, here comes you. And you get married after he gets his citizenship. And let's say you guys are really gonna have to think this through, because if you get married like the day after he becomes a citizen, well, that looks suspicious.
Well,
right?
Because like I said, the divorce still hasn't been finalized.
Oh, right. So, well, but in my theory, they wait to give him his citizenship until he's legally divorced, maybe. And I don't underestimate what I said. They're gonna come knock on her door, and they're gonna say, hey, this shitbird, he only married you to get a green card. Should we give him his citizenship or not? What do you think? And then she's going to say, that son of a bitch, he only married me to get his green card. And let me tell you, I had to call the police on him. He's a bad guy. You should not give him his citizenship.
I think that she might do that, because even the other day when he was trying to ask her for the marriage certificate, she was trying to extort him for money. She calls him to get money from him and stuff like that. That's it.
I'm sure she has plenty of bad things to say about him.
Trust.
So I think your case is a little bit of trouble, because your case is a pivot case. He's turning around and trying to give you what he got. And worse of worse, you're out of status just like he was. So it's almost, and now here's the $1 million question. You ready for it?
Sure.
And this is what I was talking to that guy about on the show the other day that got you worried. Did you know this guy back in Jamaica?
No.
Okay, that's good. That's like the one. And now they won't even believe that. They'll think, here's what it looks like from their point of view. You two are boyfriend and girlfriend back in Jamaica, and you're trying to figure out, how do we come live in America? And he goes, I'll go first. I'm going to America. I'm going to find some lady, and I'm going to get married. And I'm going to get my citizenship. And then once I do, you come.
Well, Jim,
and I'm just telling you what they're thinking. This isn't what I think. I'm just telling you what they're thinking. They're thinking that you guys have been in a relationship for as long as you've been here in the United States, if not longer.
So if that is the book, so if that is the case, I can show them where we met.
Sorry, I dropped off for a minute. Can you say that last part again? Oh, hold on.
Oh.
Sorry, Shauna, I knocked you off. Okay, go ahead.
So I'm saying, like, if that is the case, I could show them like the proof of how we met, which was on social media.
Yeah, but here's the thing. You sound like a very nice person, and I think you're going to be a great applicant. They're not going to like him. They're not going to like him because of the shit his current wife's going to say about the police report, about how he got his green card. So this is one of those things where they might even believe you're in his relationship, but there's so much baggage.
Right.
That now, do I think this case can be approved? Do I think at the end of the day that you, Shauna, can get a green card? I do. I do think it's possible, but man, there's going to be a lot of work. And the big wild card is the lady who just filed for divorce. She's the star witness in this case.
And she is the problem in this case.
Well, I don't know if she's the problem. I just said she's the star witness.
Lord.
She might be the problem. I mean, I think some people in the comments might say he's the problem.
Oh my God. Lord, she has to be the one that's the star witness.
That they will make her the star witness. So the question is, here's the question. Is there a scenario as he negotiates this divorce where his divorce lawyer could talk to her and say, hey, we'd like a statement from you in writing that this was a real marriage and that you did not get married. You don't feel like he married you for immigration purposes. Like, if she would be willing to sign that, then he should give her the divorce as fast as possible. And I mean, you got to be careful with it because you don't want it to look like a bribe or something. But
I don't think she would. If she did, she would probably ask him for money to do it.
Yeah, and that's probably illegal.
Because that's the things that she do. Whenever there is something that needs to be done in pertaining to both of them, she refuses to help. The only time she will offer her help is if he's gonna pay her to do it.
Yeah, well, that's not good. I mean, now, I don't know. He should definitely have a divorce lawyer, and he probably needs to talk to a criminal lawyer, because if she tried to make those claims, that's sort of immigration fraud, and that would make him look better and her look worse. But this is, I mean, we're getting pretty far afield out here for me to be talking about this stuff without me even being anybody's lawyer. Does that make sense? Like,
we can cut it off here. No more.
Yeah. Okay.
No more. That's fine.
Thanks, Shauna. That was a hell of a call.
All right. Thank you. Finally, I got on. Thank you. I love your show, Jim. Been
Thanks,
watching
Shauna.
for a long time.
Yep. See ya. All right. Big Name's waving. I guess Big Name needs to come on. What's up, Big Name?
I'm good, Jim. How you doing?
I'm good, buddy. What's up?
I got good news. So the other day I called your show telling you that I applied last year in March, and it's just been stuck after the biometrics, and I got my EAD after an expedited request, and then so I was just messing with my phone, and I went on the USCIS website and put in a request for my case, and in 2 weeks later I got an email from for RFE for my medical. So I was in New York that time, so I was in New York in April when I did that, and they sent me the letter 2 weeks later on, and I've been in New York for 2 months. So I just go back home to Alabama 2 weeks ago, and I went straight. It was like 2 months before I did it. I went straight, did the medical, sent it off on last week Monday. So the next day, Tuesday last week, I just got an email, and the case was approved. And you told me, I have to watch out for an interview because, number one, I'm from Nigeria. Number two, I was out of status. So I was surprised, the next day I was just seeing case approved, and, I was really happy about that.
That's great. I'm glad for you. Congratulations. That's really good news.
Yeah, thank you. So I was just calling, to let you know that it's been approved, and right now the status is card was produced. So hopefully sometime before Friday I should get it.
All right, that's great. Thanks so much for coming on, Big Name. See you, bud.
All right, thank you. But I want to have a question. So, you think that they're gonna call me in for, when I'm taking out the removal of conditions, and I'm, filing the 751? You think they're gonna, come back and,
So your goal should be to do everything you can to keep them from doing that. What I would do is I would set up a box in your house, and all mail, all receipts, anything with your name and address on it, her name and address on it, throw it all in the box and go from there.
Okay, all right, no problem. Thank you so much.
Bye, buddy. Good job. All right. Hey, listen, I need to address a couple of the questions in the comments. One is this. We don't have an office in Sacramento. We don't have an office in Seattle. We have offices in San Diego, Washington, D.C., and St. Louis. But the amazing thing is immigration is federal, which means we can handle things all around the country, all around the world. So don't think that just because I'm not in your city that we can't handle your case. We don't even see people in St. Louis anymore. And in fact, only 15% of our cases come from the great state of Missouri. So we handle cases all around the world and all across the country. What was the other thing I wanted to say? Something about that pivot case. I don't know. All right. Well, let's say hi to Amira. Maybe I'll think of it. Hello, Amira. You're on mute. Actually, I don't think you're on mute. I just can't hear you. It might be that microphone or something. You got to pick. Sometimes when people have a nice setup, it makes it hard for the audio. I'm going to come back to you, Amir. I'll come back to you next. Okay. Oh, there you go. Okay, go ahead.
Thank God. Thank you. Sorry about that. My question is that me and my fiance have been in kind of with the USCIS process for, it's going to be 2 years now, and he had his interview in Cairo in Egypt May 16th. So everything seemed to be okay, except for one thing that they had asked about, which is like a nikah, like a religious marriage document. And so they think that we're like actually married, like with legal documents. So we turn in the only document we have, which is not like legal. We made sure not to do that since we were applying for the K-1 visa.
Yeah.
And so we turned that in like as soon as he got out. Like I'm from Texas. I flew out to Cairo thinking that everything was going to be okay. You know, it didn't go our way that we had planned. And so immediately once he came out of the consulate and he told me what happened, we turned in the paper at the SLS office and we waited. So I had to come back because I'm a teacher and they only were able to give me 2 weeks off. So I came back and now we received something yesterday telling us that it was a 221G saying that they're going to send it back to USCIS. And so like, we don't know what to do. Like our lawyer told us to see if we can get like congressional assistance. So I've tried to reach out. And also I got like a verification letter of singleness, as well as I asked my fiance to do the same thing because we're not legally married. We only did that so we could, you know, be intimate, like, you know, hold hands or hug or anything like this.
My wife is from Egypt. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. Well, my fiance actually also, he's from Syria. So the only way that we were able to like get to meet and everything was for him to move to Egypt. So he's been living there. You know, he hasn't really been able to do much. So right now, like I'm kind of like going crazy because they're like, we're sending it back, and then it said that I looked it up.
My question is, did they say 221G and we're sending it back, or did they say we're sending it back?
They, on the paper thing that he showed me, it said, like on the receipt that they sent back, it said in pen 221G.
That's when he came out of the consulate.
Yeah, well, no. They sent it to like that office, I guess. It said to go pick up your passport. And he was like, what passport? Like they gave it back. So I told him, just go pick up whatever it is. We don't know what it is. And it was a thing giving us back our like religious contract and his birth certificate. And then the receipt in front in blue pen just said 221G. And then inside the paper, like it didn't even have a date. It said question mark. And it said that they were sending it back. I have a picture of it. I can, like, it's so vague.
Can you send it to me?
Let me. All it says is, we are writing to inform you that we are forwarding the petition associated with your case to the USCIS, the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services Office that first approved it via the National Visa Center at the address below. The petition was not approved at post and was returned to the NVC for review. USCIS will likely be contacting you shortly. We will take no further action on this case until we are notified of USCIS's final decision. Please direct all inquiries on the status of the petition to the USCIS office. And then the lawyer also tried to contact them and they have not, like they've completely ignored them. So it's like, we don't know what to do. And then I'm like in Texas where it's very conservative. So I don't think Ted Cruz is going to want to help me in the situation. I really don't know what to do. Like we've been in this process for like almost 2 years now.
I'm sorry you're going through this, Amira. I think this is pure 100% CARP. Do you know what CARP is?
No.
CARP is the Controlled Application Review and Resolution Program, CARRP. It usually happens at USCIS, but I believe the State Department does it too. I think they're playing games with you because he's from Syria.
That's kind of what I felt too. I was like, and I told him, I was like, I think it's just because you're Syrian. Like, they're probably going to be harder on us just because you're from that country.
Do you really want to hear what I want you to do?
Yes, please.
I want you to go get married and file an I-130.
In Egypt?
Wherever you want.
How, like, so do we have to stop the process that we are in right now, or like
the day you get married, that case is over, but I think it's over already, right? So this is why I hate fiance cases these days, right? So fiance cases should never take 2 years. Fiance cases, problem with fiance cases is the State Department has much more flexibility in sending them back. I think they think that they've caught you, that you're really already married, and that therefore they can use that. I think they're sending it back to USCIS for revocation. Now, you sort of have another option, and that is to file a lawsuit against USCIS and the State Department together, because that'll get USCIS to send it back to state faster. But I don't think they're giving him a fiance visa. I think the only shot you got is to get married and start over. I hate to say it, and file an I-130 petition.
Even if, like, okay, so my next question is, because the only way we would have been able to have gotten married would be through that consulate. Like, so wouldn't they already know that? Like, I can't get married if I haven't gone to you before. Like, this is the first time we're going to.
They're not that. They don't. You've thought about that more than they have. They don't think about stuff like that.
God.
That would involve intelligence and thinking.
I guess, like, another question that I have, I'm sorry that I have so many questions, but it's
fine,
just like,
you're fine. You're going through a lot. You got all the time you want.
Yes. So we had thought about, I'm sorry, it's just like,
I know. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry.
So I'm about to start a new job. I'm a teacher.
Right.
So I just got hired in another district. So if we have to start this again, obviously it's going to take a long time. Do you think it would be possible? Like, can I just like leave here and just go live over there then? And just start, like, I don't know, go to the Emirates or somewhere where maybe it's easier or something? Like, my mom said that she would be willing to sponsor us.
So you're talking about because you've been apart for 2 years and you really want to get married and start your life together, that you're thinking about going overseas, getting married, and then filing to bring him here, and you wait with him while that all plays out?
Yeah, I'm just worried of, like, it's going to be like another 2 years, and
it is going to be
extremely difficult to, like, just be apart.
I'm so sorry. If I thought that we could file a lawsuit and get the fiance thing done quickly, I would do it, but I don't think that it would. I think the only thing that's going to work, that's going to make them happy. I mean, one, your plan is good for lots of reasons. One is you can start your life together. Two is you get out of that embassy. Cairo's up there on the list of bad embassies. So if you can get a nice paying job teaching English or something in UAE, and then, you guys live together, and then, you do the process. We'd want to make sure that we maintained your residency here. Like, you'd still have an official American address and all that stuff. But I think that's your best bet. Yeah, I'm sorry.
And so would I have to, like, I wouldn't be able to sponsor him anymore because I'm here? Or would I, like, since I'm getting paid there, if I do get a job, I could still be his sponsor? Or, like, how would that work?
You're always the sponsor because you're the spouse. But the question is, would you need a second sponsor? And the answer to that is probably yes.
Okay. Well, thank you. I appreciate your time. Thank you for the information.
Yeah, I just think every day you spend on that fiance case is just wasted time, I think.
Okay. Well, if for any reason, like, I guess because they said that they're gonna send it to USCIS, do you know if we were to wait that time, like, how long it would be, or it's just like no telling, like, it's better if I just decide to do what I just told you?
People in the comments can tell you, but in my experience, that ranges from 2 months to a year.
Oh God. Okay. Well, thank you so much for your time. I'm not going to take other people's because I know they have, we've all been waiting. But thank you so much.
You're fine. Thank you, Amira. I'm sorry you're going through that.
Thank you.
You got it. All right. Justice has been waiting a while. Hello, Justice. You're on mute.
Hello, Jim. Thank you for having me on.
You got it, buddy.
I got married. We got married. My wife and I got married in 2021. It's Ethiopian Embassy, and we have 2-month-old baby now. And I just filed for CRBA 2 weeks ago. They already had us take interview. He's approved for CRBA. and we're waiting for the passport.
Great.
But it's been documentarily qualified since July 28th, 2022. So it's almost a year now. So does the getting approved for CRB helps to fast the case,
Nope.
or okay, after a year passed, can I go ahead and sue them? And how does that work?
You can go ahead and sue them. The only thing is, so what we've noticed, so when we file a lawsuit, we really need like the government to help us out. Like the lawsuit is to get their attention and say, hey, Justice's wife's been waiting a long time. And so in the majority of cases, in 90% of the cases, they get working on the case once we sue them, right? But the one type of case where we see motions to dismiss, which is they're like, Judge, nothing for you to see here. We're not going to work any faster on Justice's wife's case. We're going to stand by our current processing times. The one type of case where we've seen that happen the most is when the person, it's an overseas visa case for a spouse where it's DQ'd, but there hasn't been an interview. So the lawsuit still works in those, but we see more motions to dismiss in those, right? So you have to, I'm willing to do the lawsuit after a year of being DQ'd, but you have to understand that there's a higher chance that they might file a motion to dismiss and basically say, keep on waiting. Does that make sense?
Yes, but also being DQ'd for more than a year, does
Yeah.
that affect the case?
Yeah, it's better. It's better, but it all depends. So what embassy? This is Ethiopia. Where are they doing them in Ethiopia, or are they doing them somewhere else?
Ethiopian embassy.
So the consulate's still open?
Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, that's a busier place. A year seems like a really long time. How long what was the date of the approval of the I-130?
It was in I think close to around mid 2021.
So the State Department has had the case for 2 years and it's been DQ'd for 1.
Yeah, July 28th, 2022 is when it was documentarily qualified.
Yeah, I would say that if nothing's happened by August 1st, call us back and we can sue. But you just, as long as you understand that it's been documentarily qualified. Fast Track's wondering what DQ means. That means DQ means they have everything they need. They're just waiting for a slot at the embassy. Allegedly, that's what it means.
Okay, but the more than a year kind of situation does not apply here. We're already clear.
It helps a little, but they could still file a motion to dismiss. As long as you're comfortable with that, we can file the lawsuit. But I'm just telling you, that's one where it's a little more likely that they're going to fight us and file a motion to dismiss.
Okay. How much would it cost for you if I was to go with you?
So the filing fee is $402 and our legal fee is $4,800. So it's $5,202.
Okay.
That's if you want the payment plan. If for the payment plan, it's $3,202 up front and $500 a month for 4 months. If you want to do it all up front, then you save $500. So it's $4,702 instead of $5,202.
Okay. Thank you so much, Jim.
Bye, Justice. See you, buddy.
Bye.
All right, VK's here. Hello, VK.
Hi, Jim. How are you?
I'm great. How are you, my friend?
I'm very good. There's a good news I have to tell you. I got my green card today.
Ha! Nice.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
And my wife, thank you. My wife got it 2 months ago. We applied together.
That's
so
great.
you had told me 10 months I'm going to get it, and I got it.
So how long was it all together?
Well, mine is 10 months, 10.5 months, and my wife is 9.5 months.
Oh, so I nailed it. I was right.
Yeah, you did.
Nice. Awesome.
Yeah.
Congrats, VK. We're happy for you. Thanks for calling and letting us know.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye, buddy.
See you, sir. See you. Bye.
Yep. All right. So on that happy note, let's end the show. Let's end with some little happiness. We had some sadness today with Amira. I'll be back tomorrow at 5 o'clock Central. 5 o'clock Central. I'll be doing the show. And now listen, I'm getting ready to go out of town for a couple weeks. I don't know if I'm going to do a show after tomorrow. Tomorrow might be the last show for 2 weeks. So be sure to join us. But I might do a pop-up show when I'm traveling. So the only way you're going to be able to find out about that is if you text the word show, SHOW, to 314-470-3300. 314-470-3300. We'll probably do a pop-up show when I'm traveling. So there you go, everybody. You all saw what happened to Amira. That's what's happening to immigrants across the world. That's why we fight for immigrants. I sure would like to help her and her fiance get together, but man, that makes me sad. All right, everybody. We'll see you next time.